it's Amy here, just doing a quick tutorial for the pizza scones. Sorry I've made you wait for them, but I promise they're worth waiting for. So first thing you need to do, you need to get 450 grams of self-raising flour, or you can use 450 grams of plain flour and add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Mix the baking powder through. I've done this beforehand so it's all distributed evenly. Next you need 120 grams of margarine or butter, and we're going to mix it through with our hands to make it like breadcrumbs. But I hate this bit. So this is what your flour mixture should look like after you've mixed the butter and flour together. Just go through it, make sure there's no big clumps of butter or there's no like dry flour that hasn't been mixed in. Next you need to add 100 grams of grated cheese. I am using coloured cheddar, but you can use regular strong cheddar, anything that you want. I just like the orange colour in the pale scones. Next I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of Italian herbs, or you could just use oregano and a bit of black pepper for this bit if you haven't got the Italian herb mix. So now you need to just mix it all through, make sure everything's combined, and then we'll be adding the egg, the milk and the tomato puree next. So for this next bit you will need 100 ml of milk, any milk that you like, an egg and 6 teaspoons of tomato puree. And give it a little mix to combine it. Now I'm going to add the egg milk mix to the dry and mix it with a spoon, and then I will be adding an extra 50 ml of milk at the end. It'll probably look a bit like this to start with once you've added the first lot of milk, but I'm going to add the 50 ml now and hopefully it will form a dough. So your dough should be ready now to shape. I've put a bit of flour on the surface I'm going to work on, and then I'm just going to roll it out into a relatively flat circle and cut it up so it looks like a pizza. But at this point you can use cutters if you want, circular, or you can just make it into a square and cut them into squares. So I've flattened mine out, and now I'm going to cut it, I think, into 10 pieces. Or maybe 8, because I want big scones. You could half your dough and do 6 scones per circle, and that means you'll get 12 out of it. But yeah, just figure out what size scone you want and cut that up. The bigger the scone, the longer it'll take to cook, so yeah, bear that in mind. Now you can bake it now, and this still tastes really good, but because I'm absolutely a massive fan of pizza, I'm going to pizza the top of the scone. So I've put some tomato puree on top, a sprinkle of more herbs, so I've used the Italian herbs, and then I've added some more cheese to it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut through the scones again, just like following the lines, break them up a bit, and then pop them on the baking tray ready to bake. So you need your oven on at 180 degrees Celsius. There we go, all on the baking tray, ready for the oven. Just as a side note, I don't know why I've put them on the tray in such a mess. So I'm sorry to anybody with OCD who was upset about my organisation. Seriously though, why have I put them on the tray like this? Such a waste of space. Anyway, right, so they're ready to go in the oven. I'm going to say these are 15 minutes because they're quite big, but if you've done smaller ones, 10 to 15 minutes once they've risen and they've gone golden brown. My next tray is slightly better. And these have been in for 15 minutes and they're perfectly done. So hopefully you can see them. The light's gone a bit dark in my house, but I'm going to just take them outside so you can have another look in the natural kind of daylight that's 8:30 at night. That's it, you can see them better. Enjoy. Just as a quick side note, obviously these aren't vegan, and because they contain egg, they can't be made vegan. But if you're just dairy free, you could replace the margarine and cheese to the non-dairy variety. And I've not tried it with gluten-free flour, so if anybody has a go, let me know how they turn out. But I think you're better off looking for a gluten-free specific recipe for scones. Right, enjoy!